Hey guys, wanted to tell you that I'm making a live chat, uh, maybe less than a day left for it, so I am announcing it. I'm gonna make it tomorrow morning my time, so it's gonna be United States evening, day in Australia, and night in Europe. So yes, not Europe this time. And I'm trying to invite one person. I don't know if he can make it, but anyway, I'm gonna be answering the questions that I've been missing since my last chat was so rapid in talking. I didn't even read any of you, what were you saying. So I'm gonna mark all these questions first and respond to them, address these questions. That would be correctly said, address these questions. And for sure, maybe answer some other questions from the comment sections, from other videos that I had recently. As you know, I had 2 videos. Okay, probably continue what I was trying to say the first time, the day I was making the last one. So it's gonna be a little about Zelensky, interesting information, and repeating what I was saying back in the days when nobody was even talking about Zelensky except me. Yeah, about his role in all this stuff, and who is actually who is president of the country named Ukraine. And what else? The second thing was about the drone war. This huge crowd of controlled drone warfare. Everybody's scared of that, and I'm gonna be telling you the information on that, the data that I've been, mentioning last time, and I hope that will be interesting. And if the guy comes, we're also gonna be discussing something else, like what he wants, what he's gonna help me respond to all these questions, of course. And that will be a good exchange, I think, because it's always interesting to know what are the plans of the guy. His name is also known by me, but I'm not gonna be telling you right now, because otherwise he won't come, right? Because if you don't like the person. But I hope you like him. Extraordinary and very fast speaking person. A guy who was very promising back in the days as to be a very good YouTube opinion leader, but something happens, I don't know, something messed up, and he's still not as famous as he's supposed to be. Let's make him famous. So come to the chat section. I hope he'll help me with the chat questions, and this time we will be answering them when we have a chance to during the chat. So I hope that was announcing video, so it's not supposed to be intriguing or something, a spoiler or something. So I just wanted you to know that. So one American chief of American staff, military staff, Mark Milley, said that the current conflict in Ukraine, the small regional conflict in Ukraine, is absorbing so much ammunition that nobody ever heard of. So he hopes such volumes of shells and ammunition won't ever be ever used, because it's an enormous amount of them. And if that would be a big war between big states, like Ukraine is a small one, and 50 countries helping it, not a big war. Well, anyway, if there would be a big war between big states, that he hopes that this amount of ammunition will be available, because it's a huge amount of, I've heard something like 3,000 shells per day used by Ukrainians. Russians like 6,000 shells per day. Just imagine the amount of explosives and metal that is being, basically spoiled and misused. That's where economy goes. Shoot the perfect steel and raw materials into the fucking ground, That's the way to use it, Spend money on mining, on exploiting people, on look at these Africa kids, trying to make Philipp use his phone because they finding all these materials for our batteries and stuff like this, phone batteries and shit. So that's hilarious, actually. We misuse so much things. So when these people saying me what Russell Brand's supposed to tell you, what he's supposed to lead you to, what he's supposed to give us the information, and he's not even saying a single active sentence which would lead us to something, just a little step to something. And also this interesting fact that recently I've heard a story on Facebook where Russell Brand is so good in telling us what pharmaceutical companies were giving donations to both the Republicans and Democrats, and Joe Rogan's ivermectin experience was extremely important. Nobody told us that was used full, and the media was silent and even laughing and humiliating everybody, calling them conspiracy theories and all this stuff. And I was checking that person who was spreading that video, combining all that Russell Brand was saying, and she is promoting the idea that something's gonna happen in April, guys, some financial crisis, the crash of markets. And I said nothing's gonna happen in April. Nothing was scheduled for April, nothing was scripted for April. And she said, no, look at this, 31st of March, something. And really it has some government, official information that tells us that some financial regulations have some issues on this 31st of March each year. And so she believes that something's gonna happen in April. But time will show, time will tell us. As people say, April is not that far away. What I've heard actually about what could possibly happen, one of the scripts, is that there's the important date is 9th of May, which is celebrated in Russia as a victory over the Nazi Germany in a so-called Great Patriotic War, because in Russia we call it Great Patriotic War. We don't call it World War II. Especially our war is our Great Patriotic War, because we had one patriotic war with Napoleon, and this one is called the Great Patriotic War. But anyways, yep, the 9th of May. So one rich guy that was trying to hire me back in the days, when we talk about Ukraine and the first revolution in Ukraine in 2004, when the Orange Revolution actually was succeeded, and they had a re-election of the president, and that president that won first time lost it. So that was quite democratic. But anyway, that was Orange Revolution, and he said that he understood everything about Ukraine. That's what's gonna happen. So we kind of agreed on stuff, what's gonna happen in the future. And look at this, everything's happening as we were talking about it before. And so he said, I'm actually going to banya, or sauna. In Russia we call it banya. It's like steamy sauna where it's not very good for the people who don't want to go to sauna to go to and stay for a very long time. So at least 5-10 minutes and you're okay. But you know, Russian folks stay 15-20 minutes and like 110 degrees and all this moisture, which is very hot, and you're gonna have to wear a hat there so your head won't be burning. But anyway, so he said he's going to sauna, to banya with the guys who work for administration of President of Russia. And they often come to him to his banya because that's his banya. He's calling it Black Russian banya because he has this Russian black tradition of banya where, well, you have to go there anyway. But so they told him that they planning to win the Western elites soon. That was like 2016, maybe 2015, something like that. They were planning to win the Western elites, and they were calling it the economic 9th of May. So I would say, why 9th of May? Because they say it's gonna happen prior to 9th of May. So what I suppose, if all this stuff with April is kind of legit, but we don't know for sure, I expect it to happen like 27, 28. This video is gonna be left for the future, so we can replay it in 2027, 2028, and I think that's probably when it's gonna happen, in April or late April, and we're gonna see the collapse of the price of the dollar 50 to 60%. Perhaps this year dollar index will suffer too, closer to the end of autumn, but that could be called simply the inflation or effects of this, you know, helicopter money that was spread for 2 years, and so on. So anyway, I expect that to happen in 2027. The huge collapse of dollar price will happen in 27, 28. The slow decline probably can happen all the way to 2027, but the huge dump, spike to the ground, maybe even no rebound. So a huge collapse is scheduled for 27, 28 is what I reckon. I can see that. That's the year when China is gonna be on top, and they need to show the world who is the master of that stuff. That's my little prediction. I'm gonna save this video for future. Anyway, stick around tomorrow. I hope this car video didn't suck that much, although some announcements were made in the beginning. So very recognizable information for the future. So while I was saying that everything is controlled and everything is scheduled and scripted, because it is, and these guys, they've been called the planners. These planners have plan A, plan B, plan C for each and every situation. And if you read the script, if you read between the lines, as what Russians say, you can understand what's going to happen soon, or in near future, in short term, in middle term perspective, in long term. Especially when smart people also exchange their opinions, as what I expect from my guest tomorrow if he comes. So see you later. Bye.